All right, we're doing good. We're trucking along. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about gut integrity. Gut integrity basically means if I have inside my digestive system, I have what is known as tight junctions in the small intestine. These junctions are where we're supposed to let through microscopic nutrients. Okay, so as we digest food, if we're digesting it properly, we're breaking it down properly, we turn it into these very, very small microscopic nutrients that can then cross through these tight junctions that open only for these nutrients. Now, what can happen sometimes is these tight junctions open up too much and for too long, and maybe too often. And this is what is known as leaky gut, right? So there's a lot of things that contribute to leaky gut. One of them is this thing we use to flush out invaders such as gluten or gliadin, and it's called zonulin. So the body, in an effort to get rid of a pathogen that's on the intestinal barrier, will open the tight junctions. And in that opening of the tight junctions, even though we're flushing it with zonulin, we're opening the tight junctions for too long. So leaky gut, if you think about it, this is how a lot of invaders get into our system. And then also this is how protein-based substances get into our system that normally wouldn't get through those tight junctions. And then the body mounts an immune response to these protein-based substances, and it amplifies the immune system, and it makes it overactive, okay? So some of the things that contribute to leaky gut, always gluten. And I don't care where you are or what population you're a part of or what your genetic history is. There's been plenty of research that shows that no matter who you are, in the presence of gluten, your tight junctions open up very often and for too long. And some people just have a better tolerance to it. Some people break down gluten a little bit better with their digestive system. There's different versions of wheat. Some people will notice when they go to Europe, they don't have the same digestive issues as they have over here in America. But just because you're not experiencing symptoms, it doesn't mean that something's not happening, right? So that would be one of the things I would always recommend avoiding no matter what. Usually seeds. Now, seeds have anti-nutrients we've talked about many times in other talks, things like phytates and saponins and prolamines and lectins. And lectins specifically kind of bind to the intestinal barrier, and they also contribute because the body's trying to get rid of them. So to flush them out, it's going to open the tight junctions temporarily. And so lectins contribute a lot of problems, and different seeds have different amounts of lectins, and sometimes those lectins can be mitigated with soaking and sprouting and cooking and roasting. But still, in general, seeds are going to be somewhat problematic. Sometimes alcohol, dairy, eggs, GMOs, nightshades, depending on your susceptibility to these things, and many medications, including most of the acid blocking medications, because you think about what acid blocking does, it reduces our acidic level inside the upper GI, and we want to have a really strong acidic level in the upper GI. Antibiotics, NSAIDs, anything that disrupts the body's natural inflammatory processes also contribute to leaky gut. Now, if I'm taking like once a year, I have a massive headache and I take some Advil, I don't see that being a problem. But if I'm taking some of these things on a regular basis, it's definitely contributing to leaky gut. All right, and then stress has been well known that contributes to leaky gut. So including physical stress and emotional stress. So that's where rest and recuperation comes into play, and also meditation and mindfulness, or some kind of a de-stressing, strategy that you might have, vacation time and stuff like that. Gut infections and gut imbalances, things like parasites and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and yeast overgrowth, all those things can contribute to leaky gut, obviously, because they're down there in the digestive system, disrupting the digestive system. And the biggest contributor is going to be gluten. Okay, so again, why is this important? Because if I have leaky gut, I'm letting things into my immune system that I don't want there. I'm letting proteins in that my body will mount an immune response to that it shouldn't have to. It should reserve that immune response for real pathogens versus protein-like substances, okay? So the things that we want to do when it comes to improving leaky gut is going to be remove the stressors we just talked about. And maybe if you're experiencing some immune issues, or you feel like you're getting sick regularly, or having some allergy or asthma problems regularly, the first place to start would be that list of stuff I just went through, which is some of the first things we recommend doing when we do elimination diets and cleansing anyway. Also strengthening digestion. I'm going to make a plug for that here in just a second. Going through periods of fasting. is going to help heal and seal the gut, right? Because when the gut is active, when we have food coming into the system, then there's a lot of things happening there, and we're also potentially interacting with things that are problematic for gut permeability. And if I go through a fasting phase, whether it's just space in between meals or going with a 24-hour fast or even some extended fast, anytime I go through significant periods of time without food, it gives the body a chance to heal and seal the gut and strengthen the digestive system. All right, and then also we always recommend, as a veteran real foodie, that you're always experimenting. You're always going without something. You're always cleansing or eliminating something for the purposes of seeing how it makes you feel and reintroducing it to see how that makes you feel. All right, and then we definitely start with some of these problematic foods or potentially problematic foods, right? Cool. Thanks, Shannon. Sorry that some of these are like not very picture intensive and they got a lot of text, but all right, so I want to talk just a little bit about digestion. I did a really good video not too long ago, and it was on how to support your digestive process naturally and with some supplements. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I do want to highlight a few things here. The way that we improve digestion is, number one, we have to eat mainly home-cooked meals. Why? Because when I think about food, I'm thinking about food right now, I'm starting to salivate. When I think about food, I initiate digestive processes. I start to salivate. My digestive system starts to heat up. I don't get that when I go through a drive-through or I go somewhere and it's already prepared and I just open it up and eat it, right? Also, we want to make sure that we're chewing our food really well because the rest of my digestive system does not have any teeth. All right, so if I have big chunks of food that go down into my stomach, then the best thing my stomach can do is just kind of churn a little bit, you know, and maybe we can break it down with our stomach acid, but ideally we're chewing food really well. We're chewing it into a paste, and that chewing process, the chewing also kind of tells the body what's coming down the pipeline. And so the chewing is very, very important. I'm at this point now, I'm chewing my food so freaking well. It's helping me enjoy my food. It's helping me be more present and be more present with, you know, my partner, with Arnica. And I've also noticed if I don't chew my food really well, I have like really loose stools pretty soon after. I was trying to figure out what the heck it was. I was like, what, you know, I was trying to pinpoint specific foods. We went through all this different elimination stuff, and I was like, maybe I'm not chewing my food really well. And then I started chewing my food really well, and it cleared up. It was crazy. So now the areas we might want to support supplemental wise would be, or areas to support in general, would be stomach acidity. We want strong acidity in the stomach because that breaks down proteins and helps you assimilate minerals. We want to support bile flow, which helps us digest fast. The bile comes from the gallbladder right next to the liver. Bile squirts into the small intestine, helps you break up fats and digest them properly. It's kind of like Dawn dishwashing liquid. And then we want to support enzymes. So the pancreas should be secreting enzymes into the small intestine that help you break down carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. But we can support that. You know, maybe we have a weak pancreas or something like that. All right, so for stomach acidity, we're looking for the nutrient betaine hydrochloric acid. For bile flow, we're looking for beet juice concentrate, and maybe taurine is a really good cofactor. Then for enzymes, we're looking for bromelain, pepsin, papain, cellulase, amylase, and lipase. Right, and those are the bromelain, pepsin, papain are protein digesting enzymes. Cellulase and amylase are carbohydrate based, and then lipase are fat based. Right. So those are things that we can supplement with. And again, I've got products that I love from Biotics. By the way, there's a lot of us veterans that are on a lot of these things religiously. So myself, Colby, Ashley, most of my clients, I all make them start with this digestive supplement protocol. So Hydrozyme is a low-dose betaine hydrochloric acid supplement that I start people on. For the gallbladder, we have this product called beta TCP. It's got organic beet juice concentrate in it. It's got some other cofactors really useful for bile flow. And then we have bromelain plus CLA, which is basically bromelain plus cellulase, amylase, and lipase. All right, so those are all enzymes. And if you package all those three things together, then you're supporting each one of those three systems. All right, so cool.